give me a sign. What can I do to make you mine? What I'm saying ain't no lie. No time for feeling shy. I wanna holler and testify. You make me feel so sky high. Don't you ever stop what your love is doing to me. Don't you ever quit giving what comes naturally. Don't you ever quit giving what comes naturally. Don't you ever stop what your love is doing to me. Don't you ever quit giving what comes naturally. Don't you ever stop what your love is doing to me.
Welcome everyone to the newly branded Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. My name is Michelle Odom. I'm one of the co-hosts, and we are having our special holiday hangout tonight, primarily focusing on the question of whose booty is this, which is a continuation of a dialogue held by Bell Hooks. We are in the process of changing our name from the National Black Feminist Book Group to the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle, but you can look up probably either one of those names on our platforms at Google, Google+, YouTube, and Facebook to learn more about us. Mostly what we do is read books together and share our reactions to them. But tonight is a little bit different because we are reacting to and continuing a discussion based on another discussion. Again, I'm Michelle Odom, and I am in New York City. Venita?
Hello, everyone. My name is Venita Walker. I'm talking to you from Connecticut. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy you guys are joining us tonight. DL?
I'm Georgette Moses, and I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. And this is going to be some kind of discussion.
Yeah.
Quite, you know, the usual for us, because we enjoy hot topics, and this is what. So here we go.
Definitely, definitely. And, you know, and really, I want everyone to relax and be comfortable and make yourselves at home and take off your shoes if you want to. Get yourself a glass of wine. I'm ready.
Oh,
All right now.
wow. I'm ready. I was blushing already. You haven't even started, DL.
Yeah.
You know, and let's have fun. I was saying to Georgette that I just posted a video, a parody of Nicki Minaj's video called Anaconda, and it's all of these mostly black booties, nearly naked women twerking, and every time there's a twerk, there's a fart, and it's I can't stop laughing about it. So, so I'm gonna try to contain myself, but that's where we are. Randie, you made it! Thank goodness.
Yeah, here she is. All right.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Randie Henderson. I am watching from Atlanta, and I'm excited to see everyone. I miss you all,
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
excited for tonight.
Oh, I'm so glad you got in. Background, whose booty is this? Eugene Lang College at the New School for Liberal Arts hosted an open conversation for students on October 7, 2014 with Bell Hooks, who is among the leading public intellectuals of her generation and whose writings cover a broad range of topics, including gender, race, teaching, and contemporary culture. The panel included Lenny Denise, founder and vision director of Wild Seed Cultural Group, Anna Czarnik-Neimeyer, the assistant director of the Cassandra Vos Center, St. Norbert College, and Stephanie Troutman, the assistant professor of leadership and educational studies and affiliate faculty women's studies at Appalachian State University. This evening, the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle is exploring some of the issues and themes raised by the Bell Hooks conversation. And that conversation was titled Transgression, Whose Booty Is This? And I just want to point out that, or remind us that transgression means to an act that goes against something, goes against a law or a rule or a code of conduct. It's some kind of offense. So we're really looking at the question of booty juxtaposed with offense. You know, is there something offensive about our focus on booty?
Some of the themes and issues raised in the Bell Hooks conversation include ownership and access to the female body, liberatory sexuality, white supremacist, capitalist, patriarchal structure of female sexuality, the body as a location of delight, pleasure, and love, Blackness not marketable, representation that either maintains the status quo or liberates us, booty's long reign on the world stage, liberatory queer practices, feminism outside the academy, white cultural appropriation of Black bodies, queer conversations in straight spaces, sexualization of young girls, marketing that targets the booty, and attitudes in the Black community toward large booties.
Great, thank you. Basically, as you can see, what I did was kind of summarize the major things that came out in the Bell Hooks dialogue, and then came up with some of our own questions to address. The process of thinking always evokes more questions than we have time or energy to get to. And as you can see, the number of questions that came out of the Bell Hooks dialogue, they spent so much time coming up with questions, that's about all they can really do. So anyway, we have a separate list of our own questions.
Well,
Venita,
yes,
whose booty is this?
mine.
There was no doubt.
Right answer.
Now, if I was Randy's age, I'd probably say what Randy said, but right now it's just mine.
Yeah.
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 What about you, Georgette?
Yes, mine. It's been mine for a long time. It's gonna be mine for the rest of my life. And I'll dole it out as I see fit. Okay. We can
Oh,
loan it.
well, go, Georgette. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And mine is mine. You know, and I do think there's something of an age component. But I'm also thinking about what Bell Hooks was saying about Tina Turner and
Yes, yes.
it always being positioned as an old booty.
Damaged.
Yeah. But I'm also thinking about who was it J Lo that took out an insurance policy on her butt? One of them did that.
I'm sure she must have. I'm positive she must have.
Yeah.
That person is thinking they do. She would have to. You know, that's like a dancer with her feet. You know, that's a trait. She has to.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, so I don't know, you know, anyway, I do not have a special insurance policy on my butt.
Mm.
And I own my butt. You know? and, and the rest of me too. And, you know, but I do think it gets to be a very fine line when we think about how far we are willing to go to survive. And, you know, like you and I were talking last night, Venita, about Beyonce, and, you know, okay, you would think that she has made enough money at this point to be able to exercise more freedom in or responsibility over the kinds of messages that young girls receive from her presence on the scene. But, you know, I guess we can't ever say what is enough for another person, but we can make our own choices and decisions about this. Because all of this, you know, it's about power, it's about money.
I still do believe that, you know, if you have as you said, we dropped the ball also. If you have good examples around you of females to reassure you and so you can understand that you have ownership, that's missing a lot too. So, you know, actually, normally you have good pulling one way and evil pulling the other.
Right.
But here recently in these generations, since there are folks in our generation that drop the ball, you just have evil pulling that way. There's nothing to pull it back this way. So there's nothing balancing anything. We still had the same thing, Michelle, Georgette, Gio. We had the same thing. We had mini skirts, micro skirts, this, that. But we also had parents that would say, well, hold up. That's a little bit too short. Well, hold up. That's a little bit too mid. Well, hold up.
Yeah.
So we had that balance, something to balance that and say, well, all right, that's too much.
Right, because I used to work a mean halter top.
Oh, I know, because she used to hold us up trying to go out. I couldn't stand it. She always all day long to drag around and do nothing. Anyway, she's stopping, just got finished making her sundress because she sews. And I'm Miss Prompt. I'm ready to go. We say 8, I'm there at 8, ready to go. When you say 8 to Michelle, you're there at 10. But you know, and I think that's where a lot of the problems come in, is that you don't have the mothers that are good any influence over their children anymore. Because remember, this little group, this little 50-something group, something happened there. A lot of them, they just dropped the ball. They start turning to teenagers themselves, and their daughters were on their own.
We don't go to church like we used to, and you know, there's something good about that,
right?
But, you know, but it has its consequences.
It does, and once again, we had people that critiqued us. I remember my mother saying, you know, certain person is wearing something. Although I've never been one to be, I never like showing my body a lot anyway. So I wouldn't be the girl with the low cut, dress on or top.
Yeah.
However, I remember, our parents, and you remember that, Gio, you're not wearing. I don't care what Darlene's mother let her wear.
Yes, that's right. That's
I'm
right.
not Darlene's mother. And I said, you're not wearing that.
Yeah.
And probably Darlene was the only person wearing it because most mothers had the same thought. You understand? So, there was more, the rules were more cohesive. There's always that one outlier or two outliers in the neighborhood. But for the most part, those rules were cohesive. It was cohesive. So the younger women don't have that today. You got the mom out there wearing stuff on their behind. You got the mom out there doing this and doing that. So they have nothing to offset that. Or the moms just are, they're just missing an action period. So, I mean, the reason why I say mothers is because we are the ones to project the female image. Dads can't do that. They don't wear skirts. Well, some do, but most don't wear skirts or. So I think that's where we lost it. Can't blame everything on capitalism. We cannot blame everything on capitalism.
No, but we can blame a lot.
Well, yeah, you can blame a lot.
But there's an interesting photo that went around a while back on Facebook. It's a split image, and on one side you have a woman dressed scantily, Western culture, and she's looking at the Arab woman, fully clothed from head to toe. And the Western woman is saying, oh, how oppressed those women are, having to wear all of that. And the Arab woman is looking at the Western woman saying, oh, how oppressed those Western women are, feeling like they have to go around half naked like that. So there's a cultural dimension as well as moral and economic to how we feel about exposing ourselves. But I do believe that we are over the top in this culture, particularly as it impacts young girls. I know when they were talking about the little girl, the videos of the little girls twerking, I saw one on video. I saw one a couple of years ago on YouTube, and I don't think I've watched any more since because it was so disgusting to me.
Yeah.
It was a house party, and I think it was a Puerto Rican family, but there were several adults.
Yes.
And a whole bunch of children. And the children were basically dry fucking to music. And the adults were just, clapping and egging them on. And, I think people are not thinking about what the impact of that kind of thing is. Leah and I had a situation that we ran into where someone we knew, and they shall remain nameless, Leah, was their little daughter was dancing around at my mother's house in a very sexualized kind of way. And Leah and I mean, you would have thought we were straight out of the 1800s. We were like, what the hell? But the child's mother just thought it was cute. Oh, isn't that so cute the way she's grinding her little behind? So, I don't know, but if we're, I posted something today about breast development. And, we see it, but now there's a study that proves what we see, which is that young girls are developing into puberty at a much younger age. And apparently 25% of African American girls are developing breasts at the age of 7 years old.
That's not new, Michelle.
And the numbers are a little smaller for Hispanics and a little smaller for whites, and and almost negligible for Asians. But no, it's not new. It's not new. But if we're okay with sexualizing our young children, then I guess we're okay with wherever that leads. Or maybe we're just not thinking about where that leads. But I think we should be. So I don't know.
It's scary. It scares me. I went out to the elementary school down here, and I'm telling you, when I was 9, 10 years old, you didn't know if I was a girl or a boy. You didn't know if I was a girl or a boy. I don't even think I claimed anything. You understand? I was just living. There was everything. This is nothing really. But you go out to elementary school now, in 5th grade, they wear 34 bra and got 36 hips.
Yeah.
That's frightening.
It is.
And a lot of it's too, it's the food, it's the hormones, it's our genetically engineered, it's all the food and hormones anyway. Yeah. I don't think it's evolution taking place, because we don't need a 7-year-old to have a baby. We don't need a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old to have a baby. So I don't think it's because that's taking place. I think it's just our food system is pumping these kids up, and along with all the other stuff, the mind is maturing from everything is out there for them. And when that stuff starts to collide, it's scary. But no one seems to be really over concerned about it.
Yeah.
No one seems to be overly concerned. But I saw that happening.
Once what?
I said no one seems to be overly concerned about it. Not as many people as I would think there would be. I haven't heard too many concerns. But I saw that starting to happen, I would say about a good 15 years ago, was when I really first started to see that slowly but surely happening. The little girls were touring faster. The parents were dressing them even then more mature. The haircuts were that of little miniature women. When we grew up, we had ponytail. You pull it back, or you had 2 over here. Yeah. And on Sunday, you got a chance to wear curls. I remember the only time I could wear my hair down was go to church. Once the church was over, that was the only day you wore it down. It was back in that ponytail.
Yeah.
Everything is just changing. And now I started to see about 15 years ago, and now it's just really out of control, where little girls are actually starting their menstrual cycles at 8 years old, 9 years old. That's scary. Yeah. And but years ago you always had that early bloomer. As usual, you had a couple. But now it's like the norm. They're 9. They're 9.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty soon, with all the things that are going on, Gio, and all the parents being missing, on top of that, not raising them, you're gonna have little 10-year-old girls walking around with babies.
That's right.
Watch, in the next 10 years, you're gonna have more and more little 10-year-old girls walking around with babies.
And that's the problem, and I guess I'll just say as we wrap it up, because we're now at 9 o'clock, that from a feminist perspective, which I know is very misunderstood terminology in our culture, but from a feminist perspective, it's really about giving ourselves, giving our girls, giving our children every opportunity to develop into their authentic self. And our culture, our Western culture, is very anti-authenticity. we are pushed from every angle to fit into a particular box, to want whatever we're told we should want, to be whatever we're told we should be, and to not ever have the time or the inkling to give thought to who we might really want to be in the world. We can't ever hope to have a better world, a more humane world, a more loving world, a more conscious world until we can allow ourselves enough time to figure out who it is we truly want to be. So we do have to find the ways to resist all of the marketing that seeks to undermine and circumvent that natural process, because marketers know, you get the kids at a certain age and you've got them. You've got them for a very, very long time. So hate me because I'm a feminist if you want to, but that really is what it's about, giving ourselves the time and the space to develop authentically. And if you have that time, then you might have the time to realize that your ass is not your best asset, and maybe there's something else you'd like to offer the world. And so that is my hope for all of us, that we will be able to figure out truly what our best assets are and not what someone tells us they should be. So, any final thoughts, Georgette or Venita?
That was beautiful. I love it. I love what you just said.
Thank you.
I at the end of the video, Bell Hooks did mention that we should take time to nurture the creative, artistic parts of our children. And I am an artistic person, and I do believe that Black children, in particularly, usually don't have those opportunities. Mm-hmm. First of all, because of economics. And as they're growing, it's there's other, they just don't have the opportunity that the child, that maybe the middle class or more wealthier child has. But I do think that Black parents really need to hopefully pay more attention to that and try to nurture that part of the child. It's very important. It's like without...
Yeah, and that's something that, has been taken out of a lot of schools.
Yes.
Again, it's another way to just turn us into these products, into these machines.
And to take away those things from us, because if you're wealthy, you can go elsewhere and get them. So once again, just like education, if you're a child that attends a public school, and most children do, what's happening? The elites are making it so only they have everything available to them. Right. Which means that in turn, as a parent, everything is not totally gone. You just have to dig a little deeper, look a little further. There's a lot of things out there, what I'm saying, that's there that don't cost much or cost nothing. To keep your child or to hone in on their skills, whether it's in music, whether it's in art, or just anything. I just think that Black children just don't have the opportunity. And we have a lot of children that are brilliant that we just never knew. We'll never know.
Right.
And that's sad. That's sad. That's very sad.
Right. That's the thing. What does the world lose?
Everything.
What does humanity lose when we all go off in one direction? And, we don't even know what we're losing, what creativity we're losing, what inventions we're losing, Leah.
That's my whole point. We don't lose anything. The world, it's the loss of the world.
Yes, it is.
Can you all hear Leah?
Yeah, I hear her.
It's the loss of the world to facilitate separatism. It's the loss of the world.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
we
ma'am.
as a people won't lose anything if we create our own reclusive, systematic community within ourselves,
Right.
just like the Hasidic Jews.
Right.
They don't play with us. They don't drink with us. They don't booty pop. They don't
Nope.
twerk.
Nope.
What about the fucking diamond district? They have their own dry cleaner, their
Yeah.
own tailor,
Yeah.
their own wash and dryer technician. We all have those skills within our blackness. We just need to find each other and communicate within ourselves and stop trying to assimilate. And
That's
it'll be
it.
the world's loss, not ours.
Right.
Okay, that's the key. Assimilate.
Right. Right.
That's the key.
The
Assimilate.
world's loss and not ours.
That's it. That's it. So that's very important. Very important. And it brings you back to also to the protest in Ferguson. One thing we forgot to mention is even when we do come together, and we are powerful people in numbers,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us have actually, as you spoke of, gone off in the other direction now, into the world called the colorless world.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us
I don't know where that
gone
is.
off-
I don't know where that is, but I've heard of it.
You've heard of it. You and I don't know where it is, but a lot of the younger generation has gone off into the colorless world.
Mm-hmm.
So not only, I always say, I don't care what you stand for. I don't have to even agree with what you stand for. But for God's sake, stand for something. You just can't be formless, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So those are a lot of people that we have actually lost that could be out, you know, doing different things or sharing their skills with other communities or even protesting if that be the case. That colorless group, that 70-something group of people, that 80-something group of people, more so the 80-something group of people, they're now a whole different group of people. You know, they just, you know, they're that colorless, formless, mindless, you know. So,
Yeah, well, that goes back to the story I told early on about the PhD in African American studies.
yeah,
Who earned her degree at Harvard.
yes,
She was 30 years old,
yes,
you know, and which is my son's age, and he was born in '84.
yeah,
So, you know, I guess she has been a part of that colorless world.
yes. And that's a good
And,
example. Mhm.
you know, and now she's having this rude awakening,
Yeah.
you know, so.
But that's what I'm saying. How could you be so smart that you're stupid?
Oh, girl, easy.
I know, that was rhetorical. But her rude awakening should be in the mirror, not in society.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
her rude awakening should come from her parents and her lineage, just like your daddy saved you from not realizing who you really were.
Hey.
But that's what I just said. I was saying the same thing. It's not coming from the home anymore. It's not coming from there. And you know, and that's the problem. Is that our age group, once we could buy that house and buy that car,
Yep.
and do and be able to, we just said, well, we made it.
Yep.
So what happened?
And that is what the story that Leah loves to tell about my experience. Tell your own stories, Leah.
So we had your story.
But you know, but my family was able to move into a predominantly white area when I was really young, and so they did. And then at one point, my father got a job in working for the federal government in D.C., and we were living in a mostly white, burn cross on your lawn kind of neighborhood in the suburbs of D.C. And he took me with him to work one day in the district. And I don't know, how old was I, Leah? You know, maybe I was like 5 or 6 years old. But I said to him something to the effect of, you know, oh my God, what's wrong with these black people? You know? They look so jacked up. And he was very alarmed by that and went right home and told my mother, "Oh no, we're gonna have to we're gonna have to be around more black people. We're gonna have to move to another neighborhood because I can't have Michelle growing up being afraid of her own people." And so we did. And so, I am who I am. But a lot of people went to the suburbs and stayed in the suburbs, and and that's how you get a PhD who is shocked and horrified that
she doesn't know anything about her own culture.
That Darren Wilson would be exonerated for doing what white men do on a routine basis.
That's sad. That's real sad.
Yeah.
But it's true, and I've run into many like her. And I have a hard time even talking to them because I'm just standing in awe. I don't know what to say about that. I'm done with it.
Yeah. Well, it's not, as you say, it's not few and far in between, because I'm in a class right now, African American literature.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the comments in the discussion group, people say, "Oh, I can't believe that actually happened. He must have been exaggerating." Really?
Yeah.
I believe you.
Okay. And these are white and black people making these comments.
I believe you, because I've heard them, and I'm sitting like, there's some black folks that actually refuse to believe that slavery really happened, and there are black folks that actually also refuse to believe that, and that's the new colorless, formless people. That when you say something, when you talk about it, I've had comments said to me, "Well, stop wearing your race on your shoulder." And I'm not wearing it on my shoulders like all over. I am brown. I'm not colorless. You know what I'm saying? I'm not formless. But I've been told by that 80-something group and some of those 70-something group of people, but the fact remains, you can't wear your color on your shoulder. Well, just because I'm aware of who I am, suddenly I'm wearing my color on my shoulder? No, it's all over. And so, because they don't understand what it means to be black. They don't understand what it means to be black. Black means, to them, wearing just the blackness on the outside. They don't understand that black means love. It means compassion. It means understanding. They don't understand that intricate, the innate part of being black. So they associate being black with, going out saying black power and you're black physically and stop wearing it on your shoulder. Yeah. And once again, I found, for the most part, the black folks I have known that have been the colorless, formless black people that are emulating white people all the time have failed themselves and have been complete failures. As soon as you start to not be your authentic self and you start to try to emulate them, you're setting yourself up for failure.
And on that note, I have to say that they can't really respect you anyway.
They don't.
Because you're trying to be too much like them.
Yeah. That's why I asked that question about, how do black people culturally appropriate whiteness? We get mad when they do it to us, but what is it that we're doing when we go out and get a blonde weave? We're not born naturally with blonde hair.
But once again, that's what sells. That's
right.
That's Beyonce, and I'm gonna be honest with you. God bless her. I think that she can shake those hips and whatever the hell she do is fine. Quite frankly, I don't admire her. I think she does a lot of damage. However, I understand she got to make her money. But the fact remain is, what are you doing? What are you doing? And that's why you have a lot of little brown girls that are walking around with the little dark girl syndrome, the little kinky nappy hair syndrome. You understand what I'm saying? When they're looking at Beyonce out there with all this weave on, and if she don't get a perm, she probably can get a comb through it. They're looking at Beyonce out here with 3 shades of lighter makeup on. They're looking at Beyonce, they take and sculpted her nose with shadowing to make it look keener. And this is why you have the black, beautiful, wonderful, and we probably have the most beautiful, colorful race of people I ever seen in my life. Because we actually, the little darker skinned little girls with the more kinky hair are walking around thinking they're less than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that hurts my heart. I mean, it's so sad. So I mean, like I said, you know, I don't like Beyonce. So as Bell Hooks would say, I can't look at her with a
objective
gaze.
Yeah.
Because I think she does a lot of damage. It didn't start with her, but she really does a lot of damage. I think she does more harm than good. Now, maybe for the white girls, she may make them feel pretty good, because after all, you know, she emulates them a lot with the long weave and the this and the that and the lighter tone skin. So they say, the only thing I got to go out there is go get in the sunbed and I'm fit to go. But for the black girls, I don't know. She does, what's she doing for them? Making them aspire to be what? Instead of themselves. It's really sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
And that's an interesting point, because in that discussion, you had what looked like the older women on the panel had Bell Hooks' point of view, similar to yours.
Yes.
And the younger women, they wanted to see everything Beyonce did as some kind of form of empowerment.
Yes.
And it could be in her world. Okay, that's the power she was able to grasp over her body,
Yes.
and underneath Jay-Z. But her father pimped her out first. Okay, and now and that's where I'm looking at it. And then you move along to Jay-Z, and he's pimping you out further, and you're not really controlling your body till you leave him, or you know. I'm not advocating that you get a divorce, but come out from underneath his shadow and show me. Look, Luther Vandross says she could sing, all right. And if Luther said you can sing, you must be able to sing. But
no,
I haven't.
Luther's lying. She can't sing.
Wait. Now she is singing what the industry demands her to sing. Okay, what sells those records. But let me hear yours. Let me hear the songs that you really want to sing, and then maybe I can respect you and appreciate that you have some power. If you can control what you sing and how you're going to look, instead of what people want, what they want people to buy. Okay. Show me you, and not this image that your father started creating when you were a teenager.
I don't think she knows who she is. I don't think she could even show you an image of her, because I think she's been somebody else so long, just like the Kardashian girls, just being pimped out by her mother. Now the next two little ones that's coming up, she already started pimping them. Okay? Beyonce doesn't know who she is. She can't be authentic, because she's been in somebody else's skin and somebody else's look and somebody else's image so long. I don't think a child knows. I really don't believe that she really knows. Because after a while,
well, that's, you know, and that's why marketers know. You know, everybody knows. Uncle Sam knows. You know, they want you by a certain age.
Sure.
You know, Jim Jones and the cult leaders know. They want you by a certain age. The corporations know. They want you by a certain age. The churches know. They want you by a certain age. The boyfriends know. They want you by a certain age. Because if you get them by a certain age, you can make them whatever you want them to be. And it will be decades. Actual decades gone from their life before they're able to have enough self-esteem, is it? You know, enough, whatever it is, to even ask themselves, who am I?
Well, you know, Michelle, you and I always talk about the fact that this conditioning comes out at birth.
Yes.
Parents in their ignorance.
Yes.
Condition us to comply and acquiesce.
Well, you know, I mean, we don't have any out queer people on our panel, but you know, that is what the whole thing about gender identity. You know, people saying, I don't know if I really want to be a female, or I really want to be a male. You know, but our parents or whoever raises us gives us that identity, and you know, we're stuck with it until something happens that causes us to eventually question, is that my most authentic, comfortable self?
Right.
You know, but again, get them by a certain age, and you know, and we're done. We're done. It's a done deal.
But the sad part about it is the ramifications of the generations dropping the ball is resonating and will go on for generations to come.
Yes.
And that's it's frightening.
And
it's
that is why change is so difficult. You know, it's such a slow pace. It's such an evolutionary pace. You know, because you have to want the change. I mean, think about Harriet Tubman's comment, you know, about I could have freed, you know, 1,000 more slaves if they had known that they were slaves. Because once you convince somebody of whatever, you're a slave, you're a slut, you whatever.
That's true.
They're convinced. They're convinced. And, you know, even though there may be some strong people that can resist it, you know, like Venita and I like to always say, if we had been born during slavery, and Leah too, if we had been born during slavery, they'd have had to kill us, you know, because we could not have gone along with the program.
We're not conformists.
But most people are not going to die to stand up for their principles.
And that you're 100% correct. And it's yeah, we are the rare few, because we would not have made good. No, I will die for what I believe in. I actually can say I will lay down my life if I believe strongly, and I believe strongly in most things that I feel.
Well, most people are not. They're gonna go along with the program, and I guess it makes it easier.
It does.
To not even question. To not even question the program. I mean, if you have decided that acquiescence is your strategy of choice, then I guess it's better to not even ask any questions.
Yes.
You know?
Well, what bothers me is that even if there's certain things that are in front of you, that's why I'm not traditional. I'm not a traditional person. I think people should do away with tradition, like 90% of it. Because just because of the way it was done, that's how your mother did it, doesn't mean it's right.
Right.
And at some point, people still want to hold on to that myth, which is some kind of bullshit fantasy. You know, can't you see it's not working? Can't you see what your mother did where man is her whole world is not working? Can't you see what your mother did with, you know, a man is what defined her? It's not working. I mean, you know, it just carries on the same type of mentality, and it screws out this crazy. And it's just, you know, somebody has to break some kind of cycle, because it's just too crazy. It's just too crazy.
Well, it won't be the booty shakers.
It sure won't be the booty shakers, and I'm not taking to the poll or the booty shaker. Don't laugh, Georgette. Not that the electric bill has not gotten high enough. Now, we're just starting the winter. I don't know what this may look like in February. I'm not gonna lie to you. I might have to take something to get the heating bill paid. So let's not just dog the booty too much. And don't worry about it, Georgia. I'll call you, Michelle. The next segment, the 50-something on the poll. That is so sad, disgusting.
Well, you know, pretty much that, you know, if you want to avoid the homeless shelter, that's pretty much what you're going to have to do.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, what is middle age now, 40? But you know what? There might be a market out there for that. You never know.
No, I'm saying if you look at, this book title goes through my head called, Where Have All the Old Women Went? If you look at who's in the shelter system, that's who it is. People like 50 and up. People in 50 and up who apparently didn't want to shimmy down the pole. Now, if you can find a club, we get some of those 80-year-old men together, Venita.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's a market for everything. There's definitely a market for everything.